Yeah, good morning. Today we are joined by Mr. Kavindra Jani, and he has had extensive experience of 30 and 30 plus years in oil and gas industry. Presently, he is working in Doha, Qatar in Al Habari Oil and Gas Energy Services as general manager. And welcome to the interview.
Thank
And
you, Sagar.
today we will be asking him a few questions related to our research topic, that is about psychological safety in workplace conditions and the role of communication in the same. So first of all, welcome again, and please introduce yourself as sorry, please introduce your professional journey in a quick preview if you have to. How has been your journey as a manager, as a GM has been till now?
Thank you, Sagar, for introducing me well to your team. Good morning to the team HALT. I am Kavindra Jani, running 35 years of experience into the oil and gas industry. Started journey in 1989 as a graduate engineer trainee with one of the Indian conglomerate named Larsen Tobro. From there, journey has started with a dream of to reach to the top level positions into the shorter span of the career path, and gradually accordingly was trying to grooming myself with available resources, and accordingly today's topic what Sagar has selected, this topic has played a vital role about the importance of the communications and the psychological safety, which is a key role into the a good mental health of an employee to obtain this required career growth into the path along. In my journey from engineer, junior level engineer to the GM level corporate responsibility, what I have observed is that integrity towards your goal, transparency, and trueness to yourself, which is the key major role, and which can be reinforced by the discipline. So every time you cannot be motivated, but only the consistency will play the vital role to pursue the longer career. And since all you guys are about to start your career journey, so I wish all these four characteristics that you should develop, and along with the journey, you can reinforce all the four parameters. Thank you, Sagar. We will discuss more during our further communications, and meanwhile, I think this is sufficient.
Yes.
I forget to introduce myself as an Indian national. I am Indian national and born on 8 December 1968 in one of the western state of Gujarat in India.
Mm.
And currently, I am working in Qatar since last 20 years, and had work across the three continents: African, Europe, and Middle East. Yeah, thank you, Sagar.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I'm sure you have had uh, chances to work with diverse team, different kind of people, different kind of projects and everything. So my first question would be, when introducing significant operational changes, like you are awarded a big project, or you are changing some new system, or you are restructuring some system in your firm, how do you typically evaluate whether the implementation or whether the project would be successful, and how do you uh, motivate the people to do the same?
Uh, very first thing is that for deployment of the right resources with a correct skill, which is the essential part of any of the successful project completion and execution. So upon being awarded the project, we evaluate the right resources and the right skill, and if they fits, we deploy them, or else we source out. Normally, in oil and gas industry, it is not a multi skill industry. Every skill has a typical expertise, and that expertise cater the various areas. So normally, upon award of the contracts or the project award announcement, we evaluate the whatever the resources availability we have. We evaluate about the right skill and the resource requirement skill for the project. If it matches, we deploy, or else we source out from the market or the employment hubs, and accordingly we carry out the interviews and we select the right resources. That is one thing. There is the preliminary role of the project execution manpower deployment. In the event that might be there are certain instances that we might need to elevate some of the employees to take up the larger responsibility from the same domain. In that case, during those change management, we do take care about the entire change management process. We should implement effectively so that it should not spread any negative impact or the lower productivity impact to the other employees. What and pertaining to the motivation, a constant communication in a better way, it will always motivate the employee. That is what I have learned during 35 years. That even a small employee is always getting motivated by the better communications from the top management. So what I have learned and what I implemented and what we have made a policy about the frequent communications to the even every level of the employees. Yeah, so this is the thing.
Yeah, you mentioned about better or good communication. Could you give example from your personal experience as a manager or as an employee where you felt that this is how uh, I should communicate, or I should make everybody communicate and feel comfortable around me, and this is how communication, a good or better communication, would help uplift their skills and uplift their responsibilities.
Yeah, I would like to explain you in a better way here. Normally, the communication protocols are being set by the books is based on the organizational hierarchies. Okay. So this organizational hierarchies, which is organogram, which gives the wrong understanding to an individual to boost up their egos. Like suppose if a training engineer to GM level organogram requires 11 layers to cross over the career journey in the organogram. So the training engineer first impression is get afraid, and he feels that, oh, GM is a very top guy, I should not communicate to him. Or GM will feel that, oh, training engineer is a very small guy. This is the normally the organogram impact over the mindsets. But it was just only meant for the communication protocols to be adhered, which never restrict anyone to communicate to anybody. There is no certain rule set off. Where people they make a mistake is that having this false impression into the mind the communication protocols generate the false ego, and the communication protocols are being so rigid into the mind that people feel that, oh, I'm being a manager, I should not communicate to the junior level engineers. Sometimes which might happen that the linking mediatory level management might be is not that efficient,
Hmm.
and because of their inefficiency the junior level uh, executors could not deliver the right product in time. So it is better to get the thorough monitoring and communicating to every level of the hierarchies for initial stage. Once the acquaintancy get established, the trust gets established, then I think the productivity can be enhanced and the motivation can be maintained.
Hmm.
Normally, when what happened, I will give you one example that I am I am general manager. Okay, so my duties are normally to run the effective profitability of the company.
Hmm.
Okay, day-to-day routine work like execution, documentations, and other thing, which is been headed by the other managers. Okay, which other managers? The second layer. I mean, I would say second layer hierarchical mid management.
Hmm.
Uh, I was and normally the communications, as per our oil and gas industry protocol, all the communications normally are being marked to the even to the general manager for their informations. Every communication has to be the GM has to be conveyed for the information or the communication. So there was one lifting plan for one of the project. Normally, we need to submit for the lifting plan for any of the object to be lift at the project site. So we need to submit the lifting plan. Lifting plan requires some calculations and then everything to be evaluated thoroughly. And then accordingly, the client, the lifting engineer, civil engineer will see, approve calculations, and accordingly the safe lifting operation will be carried out. This is the normal procedure, and many of the time uh, it should be done to the certified lifting engineer. But since we are the engineering firm, so we decided that we will perform on our own lifting analysis and we'll submit our calculations.
Hmm.
This communications was not getting through between the our engineers and the client, and it was frequently getting rejected by for the approvals. And at later stage, on sixth or seventh day, it was constantly rejected. I got involved and I sat with the lifting engineer. He's a very junior guy. He's just second year of mechanical engineer, and I involved with them. I explained them how to prepare the lifting plans, what are the calculations to be performed, and how it is to be performed. And from that point onwards, many of the lifting plan which this engineer has prepared and submitted, none of the uh, plan or the calculation got rejected. So at that point of time, if I would have not explained him thoroughly, then he might be okay. He might would have corrected his error at only for the first instant, but might be the repetition could have happened.
Hmm.
Having sat with the people to communicate, to explain them, to transfer your knowledge to them, it will avoid the repetitions. People they get fear that you are creating your competitors. But if you are a skillful guy, if you are if you are intelligent, then there is a plenty of space available. Why to worry about the competitors? So that fear should not be there in any of the person. We should be fearless people. We should transfer knowledge, create transparency, and that's it.
Hmm. That's a very interesting approach. I mean, usually people would be scared of leaders and would be applying that orthodox view that you know not to share problems with them or it will get multiplied. But from your perspective, you are embracing the mistakes, you are embracing their mistakes and everything, and allowing them to take responsibility. So that is an interesting perspective, and that is what my next question is based on. uh, what helps a team fully embrace a new change or a mistake, or especially when things may disrupt, or may the things do not go according to your planning. So what helps a team fully embrace that mistake or uncertainty, and how important it is for the team to have trust in the leader while during these uncertainties?
Yeah, it is very important question. You know that how the team gets broken. You know that is the most important the point to evaluate first.
Mm,
The team gets broken when it lose the trust and when it lose the faith. So normally in a project team, how people they are losing the faith and the trust.
mm,
So the first, it is a human psychology that when somebody exposes somebody's weakness in front of others, the first at that point, it is a threshold point of the breaking of faith and trust between the two of the people. So normally in project team, even the mistake has happened, it should not be pointed out to any individuals. Uh, Rather to take the responsibility of that mistake, carrying out the right approach, even though root cause analysis, risk analysis, the fish analysis, and all this analysis has to be performed. And accordingly, very first thing, the identifying the root cause, why the mistake has happened. Rather, and the objective of this mistake is not to attribute this mistake to any individuals, but to correct or gearing the team for the better performance and the lesson learned. So once the approach is communicated during the first meeting, uh, when you are sitting with your team, just communicate to them clearly. Very first thing, let them get your team fearless to work with you. You know, I mean, you cannot set an example by fear. You can lead them by examples. You can never be control your team under fear and all these things. So I think along my journey, what I have learned during the initial stage, I thought that everything can be, you can control by the fears. And then gradually I learned that no, it is always better to lead the team by the examples. And that is where the journey transforms. Uh, when the change or the any fault has to be required the correction, this
mm,
requires effective team collaboration. And before, you must communicate to them very clearly that this all is not to attribute to the originator, but to correct the originator or the team not to repeat the in future. So once we clearly communicate, I think team faith remain intact and the leaders can achieve his objective.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Can you share a time when your own transparency or own admission of mistake influenced your team behavior or your team decision making, and influenced them to be a better employee or a better person as a whole?
Come again, your voice was breaking. I could not get your first two lines.
Yeah, I asked, can you share a time when your own transparency or own admission of mistake influenced your team behavior or their thought process?
Yeah, many of the examples across the journey in oil and gas industry normally, which is very frequent occurrence. You know that. Okay, let me go like this. That once we receive the tender, we start estimation, and once the estimation is concluded, uh, we signed it. Now,
Mm,
we means what? Ultimately, we means that estimator, then estimation manager, then the operation manager, and ultimately the general manager. So normally, general manager he keep faith onto these other reviewers and the approvers that okay, these people, the team must have gone through the in detail about the estimation and the estimation seems perfect. So when before resigning, he in nutshell he cross check the idea of the estimation and accordingly he approves it.
mm,
There are instances happen that at the time of estimations, the estimator has missed a couple of things and which has led to the cost impact. And because of that cost impact, the project has made a significant losses. So at that point of time, I, in my personal capacity, I always take responsibility, and I have never attributed this mistake to anyone.
mm,
And when in the board meeting or in the management meeting, I used to take the full responsibility about the losses, and I used to submit the mitigation plan for the losses and to generate the more profit uh, for the available opportunities. And that's how we have created a first layer of faith, reinforced by the second layer of the honesty and third layer of the protection. So multiple layer of this faith, honesty, and the protection has been established between the team, and I think then you retain your respect as a leader between the team.
mm.
Yeah.
Nice. So we have had a pretty good discussion regarding this, and there you have very interesting perspective and views regarding the communication thing and psychological comfort. So the next thing I would like to know is, as a manager or as a leader, and also in between team members, how important it is to receive feedbacks, and how should one give feedback or receive feedback in such a way that it is taken in a constructive manner rather than a defensive or offensive manner.
Yeah, this is the one of the best question I would like to answer. Feedback management is one of the very critical aspect. Uh, if you want to get feedback of somebody, never do the mistake by asking through someone. You being a leader, you must have courage to sit with the person
Mm,
and get your feedback on face to face. Now, to avoid the consequences of this feedback, it should be always like what I am doing at every Saturday. I sit with the
mm,
the whole and the team I am sitting, and I ask the feedback in availability of that person in face to face, and then accordingly, after getting the feedback, if somebody want to correct it or he himself want to correct it, he can give me the better reply on that. And after once the meeting is over, we don't carry into the mind. You know, it is the professional organizations, professional meeting, and we have one motto. into our conference room that once you discuss here, don't take it out. Yeah, so we leave it there, and then we go to home, and then next day morning when we come to the office, then only we recall. But we don't take those feedback unless that feedback, or unless that something which has gone against the ethical policy of the company. Then yeah, then it is serious issue. Otherwise, professional mistakes can always be corrected.
Hmm. But
So the feedback management system, I would suggest that it should be better not to get the third party involvement feedback. It should be directly, mm, create one team and ask them in front of everybody that this is what I want to know from you in front of everyone. If it is, and we should have that courage, and we should give that liberty to even to opponent, that also he can also ask the same thing, and we give the full leverage. Once the team is established, then I don't think this sort of issues can happen. Normally, once you will establish your team, the team member will himself will come to you, and he himself will disclose everything to you.
hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, feedback system and all the system, which is still requires the great team bonding. You are still, if you are need to get the feedback of your team
Hmm.
member, it means that you have not still created the strong team. This team is still passing through the what I would say reinforcing time.
Hmm.
So during that time, I would say uh, feedback system should be discussed in front of everyone, not with any individuals. Because any individuals, I mean, individual feedback system which might create a wrong impact, and you might misjudge somebody
Hmm.
based on, might be he must be discussing something which your ego is getting boosted up, so might be which is not the honest and the transparent evaluation about the feedback what you have received. So better to discuss with in front of everyone,
Hmm.
and retain to the authenticity of the feedback evaluation process without any bias mind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You mentioned things about ego and uh, I wanted to ask how important it is, or in the past 30 years of your professional journey, what have you observed from your uh, journey, that how important it is to keep the I ego aside as a manager or as a employee while you are working in a team. You are not working individually there. So how important it is to keep the ego of I aside and work collectively, effectively as a team.
Yeah. uh, Once you should not forget your journey. If
Mm,
you will, at every point, if you will put yourself, if you are talking to junior engineer,
mm,
you must recall your journey as a junior engineer. If
mm,
you are talking to the mid-level manager, you should not forget your journey as a mid-level manager. People, they are boosting their egos because they forget their past, and they believe that the today's reality is the reality. But they have also come across with so many of the things. That is the reason why, if you will remember your each and every moment of your life, you will never be the egoistic person, and you will so humble. That is what I have learned. That if you keep remembering your past journey at every point, I think you can elevate the people around you, and you can better transfer your knowledge to them, and you get your objective achieved. So to remove the ego uh, when we are approaching the team, to removing the ego, it requires the continuous recalling of your journey at every various levels of the designations to whom you are interacting. How you had reacted at that point of time when you were junior engineer to your manager, how you had reacted to certain questions or certain problems when you were a mid-level managers to your senior managers, who has elevated you, how you have been elevated. So this journey is always required to be remembered, and the similar or the better journey required to be transformed to the next level of the leaders. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. And we are running out of time, so I would like to quickly ask you the last two questions. And so the question would be, in a time sensitive and high pressure situations, what enables your team to detect the mistakes quickly before time, and as their leader, how do you typically handle those reflections or mistake or operational failure while the project is going on, or when a hurdle occurs, or how your team and how do you handle that mistakes or under high pressure or time sensitive situations?
Well, in time sensitive situations, we work together rather to focus on to the origin of the mistake. We evaluate the solution now, and first we focus on to the solution. We opt for the solutions. We geared up ourselves with all the team members, and once we sit together, we forget who is manager, who is junior engineer. We listen to everyone's opinion. We listen to everyone's solutions. We listen to everyone's ability, and at that particular moment, whoever is giving the right solutions, we accept those solutions, and accordingly we move forward. Recently we had one experience that one of the criticality rating, normally, in oil and gas field, when there is a explosion proof area, we are performing one workshop wherein we establish the criticality rating of each equipment, and based on the criticality rating, we have to procure the right equipment like explosion proof or something. So by mistake, the designing consultant firm has wrongly classified the criticality rating 1, and because of that, during the estimation time, we observed that it is criticality rating 2. So we estimated about the conventional equipment, wherein the designer had a workshop with Qatar Energy guy where I was not present, and then later on, it was established criticality rating 1, and everything was the explosion proof, and the cost impact was very high. When I came to know that, we sat together, the whole team, we learned together, and gradually we have converted that criticality rating from 1 to the criticality rating 2, and accordingly the cost has been saved and project has been moved fast. So that's how we sit together, and we solve the problems rather to point out the problems.
Yeah, thank you. And lastly, I would like to ask, from your collectively 30 plus year of experience, what tips or what advice you would like to give on the upcoming generation or upcoming managers to how to handle team and how to create a good psychological comfort uh, environment where everybody feels safe and everybody feels motivated.
uh, Keep yourself curious for everything. That is the only thing you would like to communicate to every person. Suppose if you are curious, you would love to talk to somebody, and accordingly you will break the barrier, and just feel that you are a part of this journey, this designation and everything will not come across your final destinations. So be humble to the people, every time, and just uh, move ahead with your curiosity. And I think your constant updation uh, is only can be achieved by the deeper curiosity, and this deeper curiosity will help you to break the communications barrier between the two of the people. And once the barrier is broken, and the people feel safety, people feel the closeness to each other, people feel comfort, and accordingly the team trust will be automatically generated. I mean, you should not put any effort to generate the team.
Hmm.
The team will be automatically generated.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you are putting an effort to generate the team, you can never generate the team. It should be the effortless attitude of a leader, that automatically team will be built up. And this can only be happen if you are having these three categorized characteristic inbuilt in you. One is your inbuilt curiosity, constant updation, and clear communication protocols,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
humbleness. That's it.
Yeah, thank you very much again. It was nice talking to you, and thank you for joining the meeting, and thank you for sharing your insights. I think it would help our project in a very good manner, and yeah, it was good knowing your perspective and knowing your insights.
I
And
hope that my experience would help your team.
yeah, thank you
I
very much.
also enjoyed the communication with you, and hope to see the remarks of your team.
Yeah, thank you. I think
Because
we
if
are
I will
running
not
out
get,
of a
if I will
time.
not get the feedback, I cannot update myself. So I would love to get a